Welcome to the Group 3, Project 3 Lesson Learned video presentation. Your computer has been involved in child porn activity and has been locked down by the FBI and the Justice Department. Unless you pay the sum of $500 in Bitcoin, you will be arrested immediately. You have 48 hours to pay up via email. In response to the ransomware attack, Team Canada was tasked with developing a business continuity plan to remediate future vulnerabilities in the Canada network. The first situational report was received February 9th, 2019 at 8:45 a.m. The team was alerted that a denial of service attack was detected on the network. The second situational report was received February 14th. After the denial of service attack, intruders implanted malicious artifacts within the network and the attackers increased the ransom. After the investigation in the situational reports, we were able to determine the root causes of the attack. These causes included network data sources, host data sources, in addition to above indicators and other sources such as security information and event management, email systems, and malware attribution are also under radar. Now that we have an overview of the attack that happened on the network, we can begin to discuss steps of prevention. The first step we will discuss is software development lifecycle, waterfall model. The waterfall software development methodology is recommended for Avastel, since the stage development cycle enforces discipline. Every phase has a defined start and end point, and progress can be conclusively identified through the use of milestones by both vendor and client. The next step of prevention will be software assurance. Our recommendation is Scrum development. The pros of Scrum development is it is highly adaptive to the developer's environment, regular communication between product owner and team. Testing occurs after every iteration to remove bugs and unnecessary features. The cons are product requirements are not documented well, resulting in accidental deviations. A Scrum Master is required. Ultimately, this is a good strategy for continuous improvement, projects that develop new features regularly. If prevention is not successful, it is important to inform personnel of the attack with impertinent information. For example, the CISO should be informed of the severity of the situation. You should begin analysis to attempt to recover from the situation. Administration shall decide if involving law enforcement will be necessary. In this situation, in no circumstance shall the ransom be paid, as there is no guarantee that the attackers will safely return the systems to their normal state. After an attack has been alerted, our newly developed business continuity plan should be implemented. This plan can be seen in the chart of the presentation. It includes preparation, assessing, managing, and finally, mitigation. When responding to an incident, risk management is very important. To evaluate risk, we investigated failed controls, which were exposure to ransomware attacks, lack of vital manual patch updates, and executing crucial manual security assessments. We also developed software improvement recommendations, which were enacting secure patch management policies, performing application testing during operational states, among other recommendations that can be found in the presentation. When mitigating an attack, it is vital to know the possible impact an attack can have on the organization. In the presented table, we researched the impact of attacks, the priority to stop an attack, and remediation methods. Some possible attacks we researched are insider threats, DDoS attacks on web-facing servers, enterprise mobile devices being lost, and malware or ransomware attacks. Now that the impacts of an attack are known, we have developed standard operating procedures and practices for the organization. These practices include role-based access controls, multi-factor authentication, patch management, and encrypted email communications throughout the network. With the operation standards in place, we also developed a remediation plan. This plan will assist the response team in handling a attack. The steps will include notifying required personnel, containing infection, preserving documents, recovery, and a remediation process. After the remediation and eradication of a attack, information sharing is recommended with other nations. It is also recommended for sharing guidelines to be followed, such as is sharing necessary? Is the sharing secure? Or are we sharing with the right person? And to record the decision after it is made. To conclude our presentation, we have recommendations for our nation and organization to implement in the future to prevent further attacks. This list includes performing regular backups of data, protecting offline backups, configuring firewalls to block access to known malicious IP addresses, logically separating the network into segments, ensuring that operating system software and firmware on devices are patched. We believe these steps will further protect our nation. Thank you for viewing and listening to our presentation.